So starting right off with the slip loop, I'm going to create an overhand loop in my line, and then I'm going to reach up through that loop and grab the body of the line, not on the tail end side, but on the opposite side. From here I can adjust the slip loop to whatever size I need, and then I can pull it to make it completely come out. In order to make the bowline, I'm going to create that slip loop. Then I'm going to take the tail of my line, put that through the slip loop, and then fold it back on itself, just like this. Now when I tighten my slip loop all the way, I have a fixed loop in the end of my line. Okay? If you tie all your lines with bowlines in the end, you can feed them through each other and then extend your lines without necessarily having to tie a square knot. The other knots you need to understand include the clove hitch and the trucker's hitch. So I'm going to use this tool right here to demonstrate that. The trucker's hitch can be tied around a tree or around another line if you're putting up some sort of a corral line or a clothesline. So imagining this is a tree or that corral line, I'm going to wrap the line around it. I'm going to pass the tail of my line underneath the rest of the body and then fold it over top. So it should look like this. From here, I'm going to take the tail end of my line and pass, not the end, but just a section up through the part that's wrapped around the tree here. And then I can pull on this loop in order to tighten it. Just make sure when you're pulling on this loop, you don't pull the tail all the way out, right? You want to leave some tail there. From here, you've successfully tied the trucker's hitch. You can pull on the tail in order to untie it or strike it. Last knot is going to be the clove hitch. So to tie the clove hitch, I'm going to wrap around my tree or my tent stake, first going above my main line here and then crossing over and coming up underneath my main line. This creates an X. I'm then going to take my tail, pass that X, pass underneath that X, and then if I pull on both sides here, I've successfully tied the clove hitch. And you can tell it's correct because you have one diagonal line going across the top with two lines underneath, with your one end being in the middle and your second end being in the middle on the opposite side.